Team Fortress 2 is in a bad place right now.
Duh.
An unacceptable place, even. I mean, if we somehow look past the rampant 4-year-old botting crisis, the rise of closet cheaters, the poor performance on modern systems, the existence of Demo Night as, like, a concept, there's something that TF2 has been missing for a very long time. And I mean, come on, it's obvious. Major updates. It has been so long since TF2's last major update that a huge portion of TF2's player base has actually never experienced one. And I gotta say, they're missing out. I remember when the Love and War update dropped and I rushed to the Manco store to buy the Tide Turner and Base Jumper because just the idea of a Demo Man shield that lets you turn freely, or the idea of soldiers just having a parachute was just that exciting. Weapons, maps, cosmetics, taunts, heck, even just reading all the brand new fun flavor text Valve would add to the new update pages. It was truly special, and I really do miss it. I'm sure many of you are the same way. You get lost in thought, daydreaming of a new update, just wishing Valve would care enough to do it. I don't know, Big Gamer, it's just that if I was in charge of TF2, I'd make a really good update. I feel like it's not even that hard. I feel like they're just lazy, you know what I mean?
Yeah, they're so lazy.
Hey, you two. I'm actually Valve, alright? And Indy.
Hi, man with suspicious square name.
If you're so good at making an update, if you think you're so good, how about you make an update? You got a week to do it, alright, buddy? I want that shit on my desk by next week, Monday, tomorrow, alright? Bye.
Dude, you cannot mess this up. This has to be the best update of all time, bro.
I guess I'm gonna have to make an update, Big Gamer. We need a revenue stream. Luckily, this video was sponsored by Manscaped.com, a men's lifestyle brand that's gone global for manscapingly landscaping and revolutionizing men's grooming. Let's jump into their latest grooming and hygiene bundle, the Performance Package 5.0 Ultra, featuring the all-new Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra electric trimmer. With the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra, grooming precision is on a whole new level with their next-gen dual skin-safe blade heads. Doesn't even stop there. You get 2 free gifts. First off, there's the Boxers 2.0, which are anything but regular boxers. They're designed for ultimate comfort and style, and come with the Jewel pouch. Manscaped also threw in their brand new Shed 2.0. It's like a grooming command center, a place to keep all your grooming gear organized and ready to deploy. Go to manscaped.com and get your hands on the Performance Package 5.0 Ultra today. And when you use my promo code INDY, you'll get 20% off plus free shipping plus free gifts. Trust me when I say this, guys. Your balls will thank you. Huge thanks to Manscaped for sponsoring the video, and back to our update. Yeah, doing this is not gonna be as easy as I thought. So, we gotta make a TF2 update, and we gotta do it fast. So, to keep us on track, let's set up some ground rules. We need to figure out a theme, if any, cosmetics and Warpaints to add, what new weapons to add, very excited for that. General new feature to add, something all-encompassing to just shake up the game as it desperately does need a shake-up. And, of course, everyone's favorite, rebalances. I've decided against any new maps. Frankly, I'm of the opinion that we have too many maps in the casual queue already, and most of them are great, so I'd rather not direct our attention to maps in this video. Sorry, mappers. One last thing, I do not want to do the typical TF2er thing of just going me, oh my, oh I love myself, because I want to get the TF2 community involved. So most of my decisions will be pretty much community driven, aka decided by you! Alright. Now that that's out of the way, let's build TF2's final update. For all the typical cosmetics, trinkets, and doodads, I decided to get some other TF2er friends as well as my YouTube audience in a little live stream where we look through the workshop. We found some good stuff, some less good stuff, and asked the chat, yay or nay? This is what I'm thinking. I don't know. Let's check the vote. Oh my god, 100% no! Now I realize that my viewership of 10 to 15 viewers might not reflect the whole TF2 community, but you'll have to forgive me for not being of the Soundsmithian caliber for a moment. I decided on having 15 new cosmetics and 10 new Warpaints. The workshop submissions as well as everything else will be in the description, so let's take a look through what we ultimately decided on. Starting the cosmetic case off strong with the Heavy Misk Big Business by Diva Dan. Heavy is certainly lacking in good chest cosmetics, most of them being winter coats, and come on, you gotta admit the big guy is rocking that suit. Next up is a set for the sniper made by Bioshock and Laser Sofa. It includes the Shaved and the Prayed, a nice bald cosmetic for sniper that has a wide range of selectable styles. It's followed up by the second part of the set, Breaking Cover, a clean jacket for the sniper with a grayish brown color palette that we don't see too much on the guy. We have the Cow Mangler by Cool Chow, Fexil, and Anemone HP. The weapon it's supposed to go with is obvious, but it has a lot of potential for spaceman type outfits. The paint region had me a little nostalgic too. Next one is by Cool Chow, the Gambler's Gambit. Scout needs his buff shirt, and pairing it with a cool jacket and a bunch of nice selectable styles is a no-brainer. Then we bless Medic and NG with the Dirty Work cosmetic, which are these really cool dirtied up overalls made by Greg and okay, I didn't even realize until now just how many of these cosmetics had this guy involved. And look, I'm not biased, okay? I'm sorry. Cool Chow Zhao just knows how to make a good cosmetic, alright? Don't fault me for it. Then comes a Demo Man hat called the Family Misfortune, made by Big Bob, Square, and DJ. Looks cool, and it has a much appreciated nod to Demo's in-law parents. You can see this one working great with a golfing or Scottish set. Spy finally gets a cosmetic that plays into the fact that he's, you know, a spy, with the Hepburn Notice by Tianez and Sky. Next up is another heavy chest cosmetic, the Gun Runner by Two Ton Moon. It's clean, works with a ton of other cosmetics, and the selectable beta skull on his back is a nice touch. Scout gets some more love with the Boston Dynamo made by Juniper, Tianez, Void, and Seti Socks. Despite being a clear and much appreciated Germa reference, it's a neat hairstyle that goes with a ton of Scout's like laid-back outfits. A snazzy engineer suit called Prof Isions made my list. It's made by Fe and Whirlman. Gotta say, this one is just the definition of clean. Spy gets another suit by the name of the Preliminary Perpetrator by Bioshock. Based off the beta Spy design, just updated and refined for our modern times. As a huge fan of old TF2 stuff, this one especially hits close for me, and I would be wearing it all the time. Pyro gets a two-piece set by Texman, Dobra Positiva, and J-Press. It includes the hot pants and the cereal griller. It's for those hot upward days, you know? And last, but certainly not least, is our amazing all-class of choice, the Lean Mean Team Jeans by Mr. Pink and Ducksink. I mean, look at it. It's a bit more of a subtle piece, but it makes any outfit worn with it pop so much more. And phew, that should do it for the cosmetic case. I love each and every cosmetic on this list, and I think all of them fit and enhance TF2 perfectly. If you disagree, that's perfectly fine. Please let me know in the comments, or in an unhinged, emotionally charged soapbox livestream. That being said though, we have so much more to go through. Let us move on to the... Ain't even gonna waste time, all these Warpaints are awesome, so without further ado, Toolboxed by Sir Lombax and U2 takes the simple colors of Engineer's Toolbox and applies them beautifully to the other weapons. Portable Painted by Lucky's a very obvious yet much appreciated reference, whilst also having really nice colors that shine in all the right ways. Achievement Hunter V2 by Garfunkel takes the simple colors of TF2's iconic achievement images and turns them into great Warpaints that look awesome even on lower wares. Frying Pan by Mecha6 brings the iconic grease as a custom wear. It's a really cool idea, and I didn't know greasy weapons were something I really needed. Lapland's Jubilant Jumper makes every weapon a jumper weapon, so there's no need for a 10-minute what-if video now. Zippy Plow by Toyota is probably the best looking Warpaint I've ever seen, with a unique twist on each weapon, clear textures, and a neat idea. Executive Suite by Aiden is clean and classy. It's the type of Warpaint I see going along with a business type outfit, you know what I'm saying? The uncreatively named Mercenary Warpaint by DC has a cool pattern and a team color desaturated look that makes it stunning even in the lower wares. Conflagration by Robin Banks takes the iconic look of the Poopy Joe Rocket. I don't know why the recording just cuts off there. It looks nice. Okay, editing in the here. Okay. Now on to the last one. Last, but very certainly not least, is the Team Anodized Warpaint by Boomsta. Do I need to say anything? Just look at this, man. And that should wrap up our 2 cosmetic cases. Now let's move on to what you've been really waiting for. It's time for the... Any major update worth its weight has to have some new toys to play around with. I've heard all the arguments about how TF2 doesn't need new weapons, that we already have plenty and we should just focus on fixing the game's issues. And to that I say, where is the joy and whimsy in your life? You're sitting here and you mean to tell me that if you were given the opportunity to have a major update, you wouldn't add any new weapons? Yeah, I thought so. What better place to ask for TF2 weapon ideas than the people playing the game right in that moment? I made the brave decision to embark on a journey of epic proportions within the cursed community server browser, armed with some very basic questions to steer the convo in the right direction. Hey, anyone down for an interview? I need a interviewee for this TF2 thing. I can get as many of you as you guys want. I just want someone who can speak in voice chat. I journeyed through any and every community server with players in it for a total of 6 hours. Calling it a journey would be an understatement, from being told dozens of times that people just don't want a TF2 update, to listening to some of the stupidest sentences uttered by man.
If the match is moving to stalemate, I would add a Tsar bomba that destroys everything except for Russians. So Ukrainian forces must move quickly before the Tsar bomba will get them. And after round, of course, there will be an animation that on red team are falling a bomb, but not Tsar bomb, it's a liberal bomb.
And after my 6-hour escapade, a total of just 5 ideas managed to catch my ear. Out of these 5, 3 of them came from one server. After 2 hours of interactions like this, just want to ask a couple of questions. Won't take more than 5 minutes. Has to be in voice chat, not taking anything from the text chat.
If the question is, do I goon? The answer is yes.
I joined an Australian server for the first time in my life, and I was greeted by people who will henceforth be dubbed the Legends. Almost out of nowhere, half the server came to the 2 Fort sewers to indulge me in my questions, hosting a friendly party and politely bouncing ideas off of each other. Their first idea was this. Any weapon idea you have that immediately jumps out, like, hey, how they not thought this up yet? This needs to be in the game. Alright, one at a time, one at a time. Well, what's that for the sniper? Gentleman in the back?
A crossbow.
A crossbow for the snipe? That's all. What would you have it do?
It would have an excessively long reload time, but would work in a similar way to the Machina.
Ooh, would you have it,
With over-penetration capabilities.
So it's like a Machina for the Huntsman type thing.
Yeah.
I like that a lot, actually. A Huntsman that penetrates targets like the Machina sounds like a great idea, so I got to thinking. First thing that came to mind is the fact that this weapon needs to incentivize getting a bunch of kills in one shot, so a reload speed nerf was obvious. I decided to harshly double the reload speed to 2 times of the Huntsman. Line of logic being that it would force you to consider your shots a lot more carefully than spamming it willy-nilly like the regular Huntsman. When thinking of the sick frag potential, a certain common combo came to mind. Problem is, a fully charged Huntsman arrow only does 360 damage, not enough to kill a fully overhealed heavy. So what if we buff it just enough to make it do 450 per headshot? 25 plus damage turned out to be perfect, bumping the crit headshot to that juicy 450. The damage boost would help offset a long reload. Most other classes would be wounded enough from body shots now. Pairing the crossbow with an SMG would actually be viable and fun. So after deciding on the stats, I went ahead and thought up the super ultra creative name of Riggedy Rifleman. I also found this really cool TF2 themed crossbow crossbow model by Hubert Man, and it fit perfectly. The second idea went as follows.
A throwing knife for a spy would be kind of cool.
What thing for spy? Sorry, I didn't hear you.
A throwing knife?
A throne? Oh, like a little Japanese shuriken, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, something like that.
idea.
So how would it work?
No, it wouldn't be
Replace the
his skin.
revolver.
Ooh, replace the... So it would be like a projectile? Throwable projectile?
It can headshot.
Ooh, yeah, headshot.
Slow fire rate. Slow fire rate.
Right, so...
Just be like,
Bleeding on hit.
Now we're cooking. Spy does need something to shake up that revolver slot, in my opinion. And since we've already done a projectile-type weapon, why not one for the spy? My mind immediately went to the formerly good game of Overwatch with Genji's shurikens. Quick projectiles that reward you for hitting satisfying headshots. Critting on headshot would be this weapon's bread and butter, doing pitiful damage otherwise. To make it a little less spammy, I'd say the clip size would be halved. You could shoot a total of 3 before needing to reload. Another nerf I decided on was a 25% slower holster, to discourage it being used as something you fumble with after failing a backstab like you would with a revolver, making it more so your primary damage dealer, and very rewarding too. Following alliteration, I decided on the name the Seeker Shuriken, simply because I was playing balloons that day, to be honest. I couldn't find any good TF2 themed shuriken models to use as a stand-in for this weapon, so ultimately I lifted some from Overwatch. Hope it doesn't get me fired. The last great idea from the Aussie Legends was another spy weapon. Take a look.
You know, in Meet the Spy, he tosses the sapper across the floor and it slides.
Right,
onto the
right.
Sentry. That should be in the game. Will used to be a sapper where you don't need to get right up to it, you slide it towards it.
Or throw it, maybe?
Instead of destroying buildings, it disables them for a second.
Okay. Guess Spy really does need a new sapper. The only side grade he ever got was the red tape recorder, which has such a lame concept that only sees very niche uses nowadays. But a throwable sapper? Now we're talking. An idea that has been floating around for at least a decade now. Going as far as before even Meet the Spy. My idea for it is that this sapper would have more of an AoE effect, disabling but not harming any enemy buildings within a short vicinity, for maybe 5 to 10 seconds. It could of course be destroyed by the NG just by hitting it. This is more of a teamwork / escape weapon. You could use it when you're already at risk of being shot at anyway, to give you enough time to escape or engage the NG directly. Or alternatively, you can just communicate with a friendly soldier or demo to disable the nest, give them just enough time to blow it to bits. As for the name, I thought a French name would fit it nicely. Thankfully though, I am not French, so after trying to find an easy word to say on Google Translate, I decided on the name L'Désactivation. I think it's a little easier to say than L'étranger. So I don't know if I said it right. You should comment below if I said it right. That would be really cool if you did. Please do that. After finding a cool custom sapper model on the workshop by Astute, our spy arsenal is finally 2 weapons richer. After kissing the Aussies goodbye, it took a while, but another idea had finally caught my ear.
The heavy is like kind of slow. What about like a shotgun kind of weapon that makes the heavy faster? That would be nice.
Well, like a primary or?
Conditionally. No, a shotgun. So like a secondary that would make the heavy faster, kind of like the Babyface's blaster for Scout.
Yeah, I mean, it's no secret that heavy is lacking in the shotgun department. A shotgun that speeds him up sounds like an awesome idea. Instead of making it like the Babyface, though, I went for a more disciplinary action route. This hypothetical shotgun would give Heavy a speed boost for a couple of seconds every time he'd land a shot in close to mid-close range. To keep the speed boost train going, it'd shoot 30% faster as well as encourage swapping between it and its melee or even primary. So I would give it a 25% faster holster speed. To balance all these amazing upsides though, we could take one downside of the panic attack, making each shot less and less accurate to encourage you to stay as close to your target as possible. Adding on a 30% damage penalty for good measure, making it unlikely that you go on a massive kill streak with it alone, encouraging you to switch your weapon often. Grozno means terrible in Bosnian, I would know because I live there, so I decided on making the name of this gun the Grozan gun. You know, it just rolls off the tongue. After finding a frankly awesome model by Papiesh, Our heavy secondary was complete. As for our final weapon, something a little bit silly caught my interest, and in an idle server of all places.
Give, like, I'm just going with melees right now. Like, give Heavy a giant fish.
Giant fish, like a two-handed fish?
Yeah, like, more knockback. More knockback,
I'm just thinking,
less damage.
I love fish.
Since we're doing a heavy secondary, why not a melee too? A big fish to hit people with is the obvious evolution of the holy mackerel as far as I'm concerned. Simple premise, when you hit someone, they get knocked back severely. Making distance between you and dangerous classes sounds like a great deal to me. Of course, to make it less annoying for enemy players, it would have a minus 50% reduction in swing speed, as well as a 66% damage penalty, dealing 43 damage per swing. Not much else to add to this weapon. It's a simple and fun idea, and I think we need more weapons with that kind of philosophy. As for the model, the creative Kiao combined the holy mackerel newspaper wrapping with the big hefty fish pyro back cosmetic that he has for some reason, and I think it looks silly and cool. I like it a lot. And that's it for weapons. I'm pretty happy with the ideas I settled on, but I would love to hear what everyone else thinks. Got any other weapon ideas, or maybe rebalance suggestions for mine? Put them in the comments. That being said, we still have one more big thing on the repertoire. Big new feature. What's that mean? Well, I've been thinking a lot about contracts. You know, contracts, the little missions on the left of your screen? Yeah, those. They got added a pretty darn long time ago. In Jungle Inferno, we were given the Contracker. The goal of the Contracker was to make implementing new contracts as simple as possible. Yet right now in TF2, there's only 3 real contract packs in the game right now. The free Jungle Inferno weapon contracts, the paid Jungle Inferno contracts, and the seasonal Halloween contract. Both Jungle Inferno contract packs are relatively short on content. Once you complete them, that's it. You can't pay to reset them or anything like that. You're done. It's a shame too, because doing contracts is fun. If we're gonna have a stupid queue system that is antithetical to TF2's entire vibe, why not some personal challenges to go along with it? I'm sure most of you can agree that new contracts would be great, but I don't think a new contract pass is a solution, since you just complete that and we'd be back to square one. I think we should take a cue from an actual good game like Fortnite. That's right, I'm talking about daily quests, baby. Let's say there's a hypothetical pool of about 100 different contracts. Believe me, with TF2's variety, you can definitely see there being even more than that, and all of them would just be fun, personal challenges. Let's say out of this secret list of contracts, the game gives you 2 of them every day. So after 24 hours, no matter if you have done them or not, your contracts are gonna refresh. Now, even if doing a contract is just fun in and of itself, you still need rewards and incentives. I'm proposing we bring back blood money. It's more or less of a forgotten currency within TF2. I even have like 75 unspent blood money that I just can't do anything with. But Jungle Inferno's pitifully small shop isn't enough. What I'm proposing is a rotating daily shop. I think there should be some permanent things in the selection, such as tools like name tags, description tags, and backpack expanders. Maybe even decal tools, you know, generally just things that are either tedious to go out there and buy or just highly unlikely to ever make it into the hands of a free-to-play player. Speaking of free-to-plays, I think every single unlock should be in this shop, like permanently. I got this idea from playing a Roblox TF2 spiritual successor called Typical Colors 2. Typical Colors has a daily shop, but all the weapon unlocks are permanently available to buy for cheap in-game money. It's a perfect solution since it curbs the need for free-to-plays to just wait eons to get the thing they want as a drop. I don't see why it wouldn't work great here as well. As for the stuff that would actually rotate in the daily shop, things like existing hats, Warpaints, hell, maybe even retired cases and crates, since those are just way too expensive these days. Other discontinued items like chemistry kits or Strangerfiers could make a return as well, but stimulate this game's stale-ass economy while giving actual players unique things that are new to them constantly. As for monetization, there could be a pay pass that nets you more blood money or something, but that's above my pay grade right now. To sum up, I want daily contracts because hearing is dopamine central. So here we are at the end. Let's get the obvious out of the way. Of course I would want this TF2 major update to fix the bot problem, performance, and implement all the good community bug fixes, etc. All that stuff is not fun to discuss, so let's just leave it at that. The only thing left here are rebalance suggestions I wrote, and honestly, this video is long enough, so I'll spare you the yap fest. I'll have my proposed balance changes in the description if you're actually curious. And that's the deadline update! All that was left to do is hire an underpaid Twitter artist to create this awesome update page. Thank you, Cow. Check him out in the description. This looks awesome. You can pause to read it or look at the full res version in the description. So yeah, that's about it. Thank you to Manscaped for sponsoring. Thank you for watching, and please let me know what you think of the update. I mean, did you like it? What would you change? I'm open to everything. Let's have a discussion in the comments. And while you're at it, why don't you like the video and subscribe too? I mean, come on. I mean, you know you wanna. I mean, it's only a matter of time, you know? So, yeah, just do that, man. I don't know what to tell you. Just like, yeah, it's high time.